experiences here with the people I met in the mountains, and and the landscapes, all the landscapes, they all become a part of your body. And so those mountains, those images, they remain in you for all time. And that's nice. So a piece of Xinjiang is in me for all time.
Hello Alex, welcome to Xinjiang, China.
Yes.
So is this your first time in Xinjiang?
This is my first time here.
What other cities in China have you been?
Wow, well, okay, so I've been to Beijing, I've been to Sichuan, Gansu, Yunnan, Guangxi province, Guangdong, Hainan, mostly Western China and Southern China.
Then why did you decide to ride to Xinjiang? What attracted you?
Well, so I've been riding my bicycle around the world. I started doing that, maybe about 6 or 7 years ago. And I've been trying to connect all the pieces together. So I rode across all of North America, and then I started riding across China. I started in Sanya, and then I went to Kunming and Kunming Chengdu, and so I've been trying to I want to cross all of China. So Wulamuchi was kind of like the last major piece in my trip across all of China, and it's the gateway to Central Asia, which is where I'm going to go now. So the last few years, Wulamuchi has been like, I got to get to Wulamuchi because I kind of finished what I started at Sanya.
What are your impressions of Xinjiang?
Well, I think it's tremendously beautiful. I was thinking as I was bicycling, there are places you can go in this world that you've heard from since the time you were a child, like the pyramids or the Eiffel Tower. It's foreign, but it's familiar because as a child you identify these places, the Himalayas. But there are other places in the world that you've never heard of. The mountains, the deserts, the spaces, these are places I've never heard of, cities I've never heard of, peoples I've never heard of, cultures I've never known much about. And when you go to those places and you see how beautiful they are, that's a different experience. Like just about every day here, I felt it's just fascinating learning new things in new places.
What is your favorite thing about the natural scenery and the culture of Xinjiang?
The mountains. I followed mountains all the way here. Just tremendously beautiful snow-capped mountains all the way here. One thing I did notice though, this is something I didn't notice in other places. There were people in the countryside, the smaller towns, who were picking up trash. And I thought, that's nice to see that even in the smaller towns there's a conscious effort to like, let's keep our home like clean and let's not allow the roadsides to be. So that's something I did notice.
Places have you been in Xinjiang?
I entered in, what's the name? Well, Hami, coming through the desert, through the Gobi. And from Hami, I went up over the Tianshan mountains, and then I found out it's very cold there. and then I cycled along. What's this? It's like I don't know, it's like a tremendous valley. This whole area is just massive, like a valley of some sort. I don't know. I need to see the map and the geography more, but I followed that all the way through here, through Barkol, or Balikun, Moli, and then through the other towns, and then here to Wulamuchi.
Did you have any unforgettable memories during your trip?
Yeah, wow. Well, so the experience I had near Balikun, well, actually, I should mention, I've had a lot of interactions with the police here in Xinjiang. They've been very helpful to me, very curious and very kind, and they've helped me to get places safely, repeatedly.
I heard that you encountered heavy snow this time in Xinjiang. How did you feel at the time?
I did. Yeah, actually this trip has mostly been very good. No major issues, no problems with anyone or anything at all, except for the weather. When the police took me from Hami, they took me up over the mountains. They said, prepare for the cold. And I said, okay, I have things for cold. And so the first day near Balikun, it was cold, but it was okay. At the end of the night, I set up my tent in a very beautiful place. There was no wind, it was quiet. It was a great night. I slept very well. The next morning, there's a sound on your tent of the way the rain hits the tent, even if it's just a light rain, like a little tap, tap, tap. when it's cold and you hear that, it's a terrible sound. So I said, well, I mean, I can't stay here. So I got out of my tent and I packed up my things, and it was raining, and then I realized, oh, it's starting to snow. And I'm very cold. Probably the coldest I've ever been cycling. I realized I needed to get to a gas station, a town, and I knew there was a town coming up because I tried to get there the night before. So I got to the little gas station. The police came. I was like, wow, all the police are really, they were really like supportive. You know, I didn't think like, oh, maybe they're gonna maybe they're gonna say to me like, get off your bike, get in a taxi, and go back wherever you started, because that is a possibility. Yeah. But no, they were like, no, you get in the car with us, we'll take you wherever you want to go. I was like, right on. So I was in that town, and then they said, don't worry, we'll find you a place to stay. You can't bicycle in this is dangerous. And I knew that I can be a little reckless. You know, I can be a little risky sometimes, but even I knew I shouldn't try to bicycle in this. Yeah. So they helped me find a place, and they gave me, I think it was a family that was known in the town to be very hospitable and generous. And so I stayed with them for that night. And the family, it's these experiences that always make traveling super rewarding. And these are the experiences that you can only get by doing this kind of traveling.
How did you feel when you received help from the local herders?
They were so welcoming from the moment I walked in, you know, because you don't know what to expect. I mean, I'm a stranger. You know, many people, they don't want to let a person they don't even know at all into their home to sleep in their house, give them food. And they were immediately, I saw, oh, these are very kind, welcoming people, very generous, open-hearted. And very curious too, which is great because I'm very curious. Like, I'm curious about their culture, how they eat, what they think. And so, but they're curious too about me. Like, who is this guy? Look how he's dressed. Why is he doing this? And so it's almost like both people we're very interested in each other. And they really wanted to show me about their way of life and their food. And she showed me about how she embroidered this large like carpeting. Yeah. And so all of these things fascinate me. The way they eat their food, the kind of food they eat, the way they prepare their food, which all these things I think, oh, that's so wonderful. Experiencing that degree of generosity and welcomingness to a stranger, those are experiences you remember your whole life.
Do you plan to travel to Xinjiang again?
Of course. Like I said, I'm going to come back because next time I continue going to Kazakhstan. And I will spend a good 2-3 days here enjoying the food. Because like you said, there's so many, which I didn't know this before, there's so many different ethnic groups in that, and they all have their own unique foods, and I would like to try many of them. And this would be the place to do it, like this city right here where they all come together. So next time, I will enjoy more.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice talking to you.
Very nice talking to you, and this was a privilege and an honor.